Have you ever listened back to a song and thought it's not hitting the level that you wanted and that there's something missing? Or you struggle with actually finishing songs, then it's this continuous cycle. It's leaving you frustrated and feeling stuck with your songwriting. Hey, Danny here from Songwriters International. If you're new, we help songwriters develop their craft by sharing tips, tricks and techniques on all things songwriting so you can go and write your best possible songs. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact 3 steps that you can use to write songs in less than half the time it takes you right now, whilst increasing the quality of your songs. Allow you to actually create songs that are more impactful when heard by listeners. And finally, how to craft a perfectly written story. So let's jump on into step 1, and we call this idea creation. Now I first of all want to share with you what this is not, and what a common mistake is that a lot of songwriters make. They'll go to the piano, they'll go to the guitar, they'll go to music production, and they'll start playing out chord progressions, and they'll start throwing out random ideas without any real idea what they're trying to deliver for the listener. So instead of doing that, we are going to actually do this instead. We're going to use things like song titles, quotes, phrases, short few sentences that we can start to actually build from. Now, if you're unsure on how you can actually find these ideas, let me walk you through some of the best ways that I use. So I use Google Quotes. I'll go on there and I'll just type in quotes on a certain topic. I use horse names as song titles, which are really interesting. I also love to use 6-word stories. I'll also type in headline news and see if I can pick out any phrases or any words. Now, once you've got an idea that you actually like and want to write about, then we're going to go into the next stage, which is step 2, and it's the pre-write. This is where we take the idea and we ask one very specific question to ourselves. And that question is, what is the point of the song? Now, an alternative way to ask this question is to say, what do I want the listener to think, feel, or understand by the time that they've got to the end of the song? And this is going to make up the main point of our song, the center point that we always come back to. The whole song is going to evolve around what you actually say here. I want you to take 5 or 10 minutes to actually figure this out and not just throw out the first thing that comes to mind. So once we figured out the idea and what the point of the song is all about, then we can go into stage 3, which is the separation stage. Now, whatever the structure of your song is, we're going to go dive into those sections. So let's say we go into the verse first, and we're going to identify, what does verse 1 want to say back to the main point of the song? Then we can go into the chorus. What is the chorus trying to deliver for our listeners that refers back to the main point of our song? And then we can go into verse 2 and we can say, okay, what is verse 2 now trying to deliver for the listener that continues to drive the song forwards? Now, if your song structure is something different to that, you still are going to follow the same processes. And this is going to help do 2 things for us as songwriters. Number 1, it's going to allow us not to repeat ourselves for the listeners. And also number 2, it's going to allow us to continue to drive the story forward. And for you to really understand this, I want to share this analogy with you. Imagine you're getting into a car and you're driving 100 miles away from your current location, and you don't know how to get to the location that you're wanting to go to. So you would go on your phone, you would maybe go onto your laptop or get out a physical map, and you would figure out the best route to take to go from where you are to where you want to go with the least amount of resistance, and to make sure that you don't actually get lost. We are fundamentally doing the same thing with our songwriting. We are trying to understand how we're going to get from point A, which is the beginning of the song with just an idea, to how then we're going to get to the end of the song where the listener fully understands everything about the story, everything about the characters within that song, and everything that has actually happened. And then from here we go into step 4. This is what I call the free write, and it's where we start to go into each section of the song. So we can go into verse 1 and we know what we're trying to deliver for verse 1 now, and we can just start to throw out lyrics. We can start to free write. We're not trying to write the specific lyric for verse 1 in this particular moment. All we are doing is brain dumping ideas out onto paper, onto a laptop, without the pressure of having to find the specific lyric that fits in the second line of verse 1. So what I'm going to do for you now is walk you through this entire process from idea to free write, and how we put all of these pieces together to write a more concise, impactful song. Okay, so we're going to go through this process. Step 1, we're going to go idea first. So we've got dynamite, we're lying in a bed she is lying, hidden treasure, and waiting isn't my kind of habit. There's a mixture of horse names in there, there's a headline news article, and we have 6-word stories. Now in this case, I really like waiting isn't my kind of habit. It just speaks to me and gets me excited to want to write the song. So next step, we've got to figure out what is the point of the song. What are we actually trying to deliver to the listener? So we've got here, I've been waiting for you for months. I only want you, but you've been playing games. You've been going hot and cold. I can't continue like this. We've got to decide whether we're in or we're out. And that's what we want the song to be about. Then we can go and dissect this into portions, and we can go and separate it out. So in this case, we've got, what does verse 1 want to say? We've got paint the picture of how one moment she wants you and the next she doesn't. I'm going to actually explain to the listener and paint that picture. I would do this same process then. What does chorus want to say? What does verse 2 want to say? And I would get very, very clear on that. From there, we're going to go and free write. So as you can see here, I've got lyrics like hot and cold, stuck in no man's land, keep changing direction, who am I going to get today? Got me questioning myself. All of these are little ideas that I've got because I knew what I wanted to say. And then from here, we can go ahead and start piecing those together and see if they work as a lyric. So now you can walk through the songwriting process with far more structure and not have to feel stuck and overwhelmed and not really landing the story in the way that you want with your songs. And once you have the idea, once you've actually planned out your song and you know what you want to say and you started to free write, then you've got to make sure that you have the lyrics to the best of your ability and that you're crafting them in a way that is going to resonate with the listeners. So I've also got a video on that where I walk you through the process of how to craft pro level lyrics that are off the chart. So you can see this video just around here. Click that, go and watch that, and I will see you over there.